Hi, I'm James Ward, a technical evangelist for Flex at Adobe. I wanted to show you how you can get started building Flex mobile applications with Flash Builder 4.5 and Flex 4.5. So let me go into Flash Builder 4.5 and create a new Flex mobile project. I'll call this Test Mobile, and now I need to specify some mobile settings. I can specify my target platforms. Right now, only Android is available as a target platform for mobile, but soon we'll be adding iOS and RIM Playbook as well. You can choose the application template that you want to start with. Blank is just a blank slate. View-based application is a stack of views that you can toggle between. And then the tabbed application has the tab bar and then view stack within each tab. We can also set permissions that we need for each different platform. So for Android, we need to specify, if we want to access the camera, we need to specify that permission. We'll just leave it as just internet. And now I can just hit finish, and we'll create our view-based Flex mobile application. So let's take a look at the main application here. This is the View Navigator application. And what it is it gives us a View Navigator inside of an application. For the View Navigator, we can specify the first view in this application. So the first view will be this Test Mobile Home View. So let's go check out that Test Mobile Home View. So here we have a view, and the view has a title that will appear in the top of the application. And now we can add some stuff to the UI. So let's go into Design Mode and just take a button and drag that out into the design canvas. If we go back into the source view, we'll see that button is now there within this view. And so that's great. Let's now save and compile this application, and then let's run it. So when I run this as a mobile application, I can specify, do I want to launch it on the desktop and simulate a device, or do I want to launch it actually right on the device? I'm going to launch it on the device, so let's just hit run. And now what it's going to do is actually package up this application as an Android application, copy it over USB to the device, and now run it on the device. So now we'll see there's our application running on this Android device. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff yet in the application. Of course, there's a button that I can click or touch. Let's go add some other stuff to this application. Let's go create a second view. So I'm going to go New, and then MXML component, and I'm going to call this one Second View, and it'll be based on view. And now in this one, let's add in another button. So I'm just going to add in a button, and the label will be Go Back. Now Android has support for the back soft key, so that'll automatically take us back to the first view. But I'm going to put this in there just to show you another way that we can do this. I'm going to have a click event on this button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the Navigator, and that Navigator is what allows us to control the view stack. So I'm going to tell it to pop this view off the stack. So touching this button will take us back to the home view. Now let's go back to our home view, and let's add a click event handler here to this button. And in this click event handler, I'm also going to use the Navigator. I'm going to tell the Navigator to push a new view onto the stack, and the one I'm going to push on is going to be views.secondView. So what it will do is create an instance of that second view, and then push it onto the stack, and then transition over to it. So that's good. We've compiled that. Now let's run that on the device again. And so what we'll see when we launch this application is the same thing. We get the first view with that button in it. So let's check that out. So now if I touch this button, you'll see it transition over to the second view, and that looked great. Now let's touch that button and we go back. So that's how we construct these View Navigator based Flex applications, is by creating a stack of views and pushing and popping those views. So pretty simple. I want to show you one other quick thing here. What's great about being able to run these applications over USB is they're just standard Flex applications. So for instance, I can set a breakpoint here on the click event handler for this button. And now when I run this, I'm going to run it in debug mode. So I'm going to say debug as a mobile application. So now when I run this application and I touch that, I get that click event handler on that view, it'll connect to the debugger. It's actually using USB to connect to the debugger. So now when I touch this button, we've actually now hit that breakpoint in Flash Builder, and I can tell it to go into the debugger, and now I can debug this application just like it as if it was running on my desktop or in the browser. And we get the full support for resume and step over and step into all the normal things that you'd expect there. So when I resume, now my application is running again, just normally. So we can also run these applications in the simulator, as I mentioned earlier. So let me show you how we do that. I'm going to come into the run configurations. So you'll see that I've got the run configuration set up here to run on the device. I'm going to duplicate this run configuration, and this time I'm going to tell it to launch on the desktop and simulate the Google Nexus 1 device. So now when I run it, using this other run configuration, it'll actually run it here in a simulator on the desktop. And I can even simulate things like rotate left and rotate right and back and menu and those sorts of things. So when I touch this button and then I can rotate left, I can go in and hit back. That'll simulate hitting the back soft key on the device. And really, that's just wired up to call pop view on the Navigator. So that's how simple it is to get started building Flex mobile applications. So once we're happy with our application and ready to actually put that into the Android market, there's an easy way to do that. All I have to do is go export this project as a release build. So under Flash Builder, release build. And now I can tell it that I want to export this to, let's just do it on my desktop. And now I can just hit next. And then I need to specify a certificate. Let me go find my certificate. You can create one very easily there if you don't already have one. And give it my password and finish. And so what this is actually doing is packaging up my application as an APK file. So if we go check on my desktop here, we'll see this brand new testmobile.apk. So now that is my actual Android application that I would put into the Android market so that anyone could then download and install this application onto their Android device. Using Flash Builder 4.5, you can create these mobile applications for Android, and then we'll also have support for iOS and the RIM Playbook coming in the near future. So go ahead, give it a try, download Flash Builder 4.5, and hope you have fun building mobile applications. Thanks.